I found this plain glass cutting board at the dollar store and I almost walked right past it. But then I imagined a cute Easter project using tiny bunnies hidden in a thicket and delicate gold details catching the light. Today I'm enjoying turning something almost overlooked into a piece of Easter decor that feels warm, nostalgic, and truly just adorable. Hello my crafty friends, I'm Donna from Mason Creations, etc. and welcome to my channel. If you're ready to do this, my friends, let's make a mess. I got this glass cutting board at the dollar store. It seems to be something that they carry all the time. You can also get a round one, but I liked the square. It has little rubber feet on the back of it that I'm removing for now. I'll put them back on when I'm finished. They're very sticky and won't let go of my finger. Now I'm going to wipe the glass on the back side to clean off any dirt, debris, or fingerprints. This is a reverse decoupage project, so I'll only be working on the back side of the glass. When I saw this paper, I just knew I had to do something with it. I actually didn't even know what I was going to do when I got the paper. The bunnies are just so stinking cute. I'm cutting off the checkerboard because I'm not going to use it. I'm going to be adding a border to the top and bottom of my image, so I measured and trimmed a little paper off the bottom. I'm going to add some gold stripes to separate the two different rice papers. I'm making some marks with a Sharpie on the front side of the glass, but I'll be painting on the back side. I measured 1 inch from the edge of the glass at the top and bottom and put down strips of painter's tape on the back side of the glass. Now I'm flipping the glass over to the front side and measuring 1 1/4 inch from the edge. Then I'll flip it again and add more painter's tape to the back. I'm working on a towel so I don't accidentally chip or crack the glass. I'm using Pentart paint in the color gold and a sponge dauber to paint my stripes. While the paint is still wet, I'm removing the tape. This and all the products you're going to see me use today came from decoupagenapkins.com, my wonderful sponsors. And then I let this dry for about 30 minutes. Once the paint dried, I flipped the glass over and used some alcohol to remove all my black Sharpie marks. I'm going to brush on Polyvine's multi-surface lacquer in a dead flat finish. I'm using the dead flat finish because I want to remove the shine. It's specially formulated to create a durable bond on slick, non-porous surfaces such as plastic, glass, ceramic, and metal. That bond acts as a gripping layer that allows paints, decoupage papers, or transfers to stick more effectively. Without it, top layers may chip, scratch, or peel. For best results, I'm going to let this dry overnight. Notice that the glass isn't clear any longer. The multi-surface lacquer removed the shine, which gives the glass a frosted appearance. If you plan on having a section that you want to see through, make sure to avoid the lacquer in that area. Removing the shine is what's needed to give your paint good adhesion. I lined up the paper where I wanted it and moved it until the edges of the paper were directly on top of the gold stripe. The stripe is hiding the edges of the paper. I'm going to use Polyvine Exterior Extreme Varnish as my decoupage glue today, as well as my finish varnish. This product is waterproof and made for extreme weather conditions. It's high chemical and UV resistant, so it's perfect for a cutting board you want to use. This product is going to give you great professional end results that will last. If you sell items in a craft show, you're going to want professional results. Because you're watching this video today, decoupagenapkins.com is going to give you a 10% discount on one order that's a minimum of at least $50. This is a one-time discount and is good on your entire order when you use the code MASON10 in all caps at checkout. So now you can get that mold you've been eyeing or some additional rice papers you've been wanting. Even if you've been ordering from them in the past, you can still take advantage of this one-time 10% discount when using the code above. I'll leave all this information for you in my description box below. To find my description box, click on the word more just below the title of this video. I misted a piece of plastic that I cut from a Ziploc bag with some water. I laid that down on top of the wet rice paper and smoothed out any air bubbles or wrinkles that may be there. And I'll let this dry for a couple hours. I always make the rice paper or napkin a little bit longer than what I'm going to need, so that I can get a nice clean edge. I'm going to do this with a medium grit sandpaper. I'm running the sandpaper over the edge of my piece in a downward motion. Make sure you don't go upward, you'll risk lifting your rice paper or napkin. The sandpaper cuts off the paper, leaving a very clean edge. Where are you all watching from, my crafty friends? Let me know in the comments. I just love to see what cities and countries all my friends are watching from. I'm filming from sunny Las Vegas, Nevada in the United States. Now I'm going to paint white over the rice paper on the back of the cutting board. I'm using Dixie Belle chalk paint in the color Cotton. I'm not going past the gold stripes because I'm going to add different rice paper in the area that's still plain glass. The new paper is going to overlap the gold stripe, and that's one of the reasons why I'm painting the back white. I don't want to be able to see the new paper through the bunny paper. Rice paper is so delicate and translucent, which is the beauty of it. Also, painting behind the paper allows the colors in the image of the rice paper to look more vibrant. Painting a dark color will make it look dark and muddy. And then I let this dry for about 30 minutes. I chose this corresponding paper because of the color. It blends great with the bunny paper. I've had it in my stash for a long time though, so I don't know if it's even available any longer. If you want to duplicate this project, just pick out something subtle that blends nicely with the colors. I'm going to cut out 2 strips for the top and bottom of the glass. I cut them 1.5 inch, which will give me enough to go a little past the gold stripe and a little bit over the edge of the glass. And I'll use my extreme varnish to adhere them to the glass. I've added a new playlist to my channel. This playlist consists of some very easy spring projects that are quick to make and might be good sellers at a craft fair. This project will be included in that playlist. DecoupageNapkins.com has an amazing selection of napkins, and the best part is that you can purchase them individually. They also carry a wide range of craft supplies, including rice paper, paints, clay, molds, and an excellent selection of polyvine products. With thousands of items available and new products being added regularly, it's truly a one-stop shop for crafters. Orders are carefully packed and shipped quickly. You'll earn special bonus points on orders over $100. Additional offers may vary and are often seasonal, so be sure to check their website for current deals. You'll find any promotions displayed in the banner at the top of their homepage. If you subscribe to their newsletter by entering your email address, you'll receive 10% off your next order. This discount is separate from the Mason 10 code and can be used on a separate purchase. I'll leave links to all the products I use in the description box below, along with more details on the current promotions. Please note that all offers are subject to change. To find my description box, click on the word "More" below the title of this video. And I'll let this dry for a couple hours. I sanded off the edges just like I did with the bunny paper, and then gave it another coat of varnish. Anytime I get any paint or varnish on the edges or on top of the glass, I wipe it off right away. That way I won't have a big mess to clean up later. I test all the products that I recommend in my videos. I won't recommend anything that I haven't used myself and prefer. If I'm recommending it, you can bet it's a great product. Each product will be listed in my description box below and will have a blue link to make it easy for you to find. Any of the links I provide are safe for you to click on. And then I'll let that dry for about an hour. I'm now painting white on the back of the green paper so that you can't see through it. I gave it 2 coats to make sure it was opaque enough. If you're enjoying this video, please let me know by hitting that like button. When you click the like button, a new hype button shows up. If you click that, you'll be able to send points to my channel. YouTube will then send this video out to more viewers. This is great for my channel. I appreciate you for doing that. You won't want to miss any of the new projects coming up, so don't forget to subscribe. And then I let this dry for about 30 minutes. After the paint dried, I gave it a light sanding with a fine grit sandpaper, just to smooth out any imperfections. I also used the sandpaper to remove any paint that might be on the edges of the glass. I'm going to paint those edges, but not white. I'm using Pentart paint in the color Vintage Green. I didn't want the underside to be plain white, and this green matches well with my rice papers. Since I just cleaned up the edges, I'm making sure to wipe off any paint that ends up there. And then I let this dry for about 30 minutes. I'm painting the edge of the glass with Pentart paint in the color Gold. I'm using a small sponge dauber. The flat side of the sponge will lay the paint down really nice along the flat edge of the glass without getting it everywhere. If any gets on top of the glass, I'm wiping it off right away with a wet paper towel before it dries. And then I'll let that dry for about an hour. I made sure I wiped off the bulk of the paint as I went, but there is just a tiny bit of it along the top edge. I sprayed a kitchen sponge with some Windex. This took all of it off and gave me a nice clean top. I'm going to seal the bottom and side edges with Polyvine Exterior Extreme Varnish, so this will be durable. I want to be able to use my adorable little cutting board, so it needs to be waterproof. I'm going to give it 3 coats of varnish, letting it dry for 1 hour between each coat. Once dry, this will be waterproof, but you can't put it in the dishwasher or let it soak in standing water. It will need to be hand washed only. I'm going to give this a minimum of 5 days to cure before using it. I'm using a special paintbrush that is made by Polyvine specifically for their varnishes. It's wonderful and spreads the varnish out nicely, eliminating brush marks. Now I'm going to put those sticky little rubber feet back on, one in each corner. Don't forget, all of the wonderful products I'm using today can be found at my favorite place for craft supplies, decoupagenapkins.com, and I'll leave you links in my description box below. I added a link to my new playlist of easy spring projects. Click the picture on the right to be taken directly to that playlist. I'm so happy you were here with me today, and thanks so much for watching. I can't wait to see you all next week. I'm working on a new project with you in mind. You can subscribe by clicking my picture in the top right corner.